Hey, everybody. Welcome to Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is your Lord of Punishment. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
And your Lord of Pennies is here as well. Say hello, Satsu.
Hello, Satsu.
Joining us tonight is the Lord of Pecs. Say hi, Pat.
Say hello, Robo Pat.
Hey, what's up?
And I am your Lord of Pain, the Ranting Monkey. And
Am I
joining
still
us
doing
tonight, a little bit. Well, you sound okay for the moment.
Yeah, right now you sound all right.
Wait, real quick, before you go, tell everybody, say hi.
Hi.
Say, Grandpa's the best.
Grandpa's the best.
Love you,
Oh,
You're a sweetheart.
Aww.
And before we get started, we do have a super chat. Thank you so much, Surfing Moose. Sorry, late to the discussion. I'm pissed. I know someone who was in a concentration camp during Bosnian War. I'm tired of the belittling of actual horrific events to push a narrative. Sorry for downer night. No, Moose. I understand. Yeah. We'll get on that roll again soon. How is everyone tonight? Let's start with you, Satsu. How's it going?
I am good. I'm hungry, but I'm good.
Scribbles, how you doing?
I'm doing great now that I hear Grand Mookie playing in the background.
Yeah, she's jumping on a bed like she's not supposed to. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. Adorable. Yes, indeed. And Pat, how are you, man?
I'm doing good so far.
Oh, yeah. If we just get your connection right, it'd be an awesome night because I got some of my favorite guys here hanging out with me. That sounded a little gayer than I meant it to.
See if I can fix that.
Yeah. Oh, are you going to try to fix me being a little gayer than I meant to be?
He's got the medicine for you, monkey.
It sounds like. I'm okay. I had a doctor's appointment today, which meant a lot of time in the car, but I got to go for the first time to Chuck E. Cheese with the little one. And man, when you put that child in Chuck E. Cheese, it's like somebody gave her speed. She did not stop moving the whole time she was there. That's not true because they bring out Chucky and he dances for the kids and then throws tickets for them. She didn't move during the dance, but the rest of the time she was there. She moved the whole time.
Eesh. Electrocute monkey. Why would you do that?
That's not nice. Do we have anything to talk about before we get started tonight?
I don't know.
Like I said, I haven't been around the internet much today, so I don't know what is gone on. I do know we have 7 Days to Die open server tonight after the show you're watching right now, but we'll be over on 2 Cents Plus for that. So don't forget to join us for that. So with that, why don't we go ahead and jump into the news? Do we have news?
Oh yeah, we have news. Do you like the Supreme Court?
I do indeed.
Well,
Yeah.
Justice Anthony Kennedy has announced his retirement from the Supreme Court, leaving an opening, the second opening, for Donald Trump to choose a Supreme Court justice.
And guaranteeing Ginsburg will die on the bench.
Probably. Let's see. So CNN has given us a breakdown of what it all means. And so what Kennedy's retirement means for abortion, same-sex marriage, affirmative action, and the future of the Supreme Court.
Well, for most of those, it won't mean shit because there's not cases coming before them.
There's that too. The Supreme Court was often called the Kennedy Court because Justice Anthony Kennedy cast the deciding vote on so many politically salient cases, especially on abortion and gay rights. With Kennedy's upcoming departure and the likely nomination of a staunch conservative to replace him, questions immediately arise over what would become of his legacy and the law for all Americans. Question number 1. Will Roe versus Wade be overturned? Kennedy.
No.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know the answer to that one. But anyway, Kennedy was the 5th vote with the 4 liberal justices to uphold a woman's right to abortion. He cast the decisive vote in that 1992 case that affirmed Roe v. Wade and the 1973 landmark that made abortion legal nationwide. In the 1992 ruling, Planned Parenthood of Southeastern Pennsylvania versus Casey, the court said government cannot impose an, quote, undue burden, unquote, on women seeking to end a pregnancy before the fetus is viable. More recently, Kennedy was the key vote in 2016 to strike down strict regulations on abortion clinics in Texas. With Kennedy gone, Roe versus Wade is at risk.
No, it's not.
Probably not. That's right.
Okay.
Grand Monkey knows what's up.
Yeah,
So,
she just came in to tell me she has new panties.
Oh, well, that deals with Supreme Court rulings.
You're going to dance next time we go to Chuck E. Cheese? All right. That's a date, kiddo. Love you. I'm sorry, guys.
That's all right. The second question, what happens to same-sex marriage? Probably nothing. The 2015 gay marriage precedent, another milestone Kennedy opinion in which he sided with the court's liberals against 4 conservatives, is more recent than Roe, but it may not be as enduringly divisive. The court this term relied on the Obergefell versus Hodges precedent when it took up a case of a Colorado baker who refused to make a wedding cake for a gay couple. The court, in a 7-2 decision by Kennedy, sided with the baker based on statements disparaging of religion at a Colorado Civil Rights Commission hearing. Kennedy's what does this have to do with same-sex marriage?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, they're talking about the same-sex marriage case because that was decided 5-4. But the case with the baker was decided 7-2. Yeah. Kennedy wasn't a swing vote there.
Yeah.
It's fucking retarded to bring that up. Oh, my God.
Kennedy's fellow conservatives signed his opinion, which was premised on a right to same-sex marriage. It is likely, however, that the new conservative majority would be... What? Would be defer. Okay, who wrote this? Was this Chris Cillizza? No, it wasn't Chris Cillizza. This was Joan Biskupik, a CNN legal analyst and Supreme Court biographer. So I'm going to read that sentence again just for the hell of it. It is likely, however, that the new conservative majority would defer more to religious interests and permit a broad range of exemptions to laws intended to protect people based on sexual orientation.
No, what they're going to... Okay. Faith just asked it, and this is exactly why so many people freaking out about this need to just shut the fuck up. Said, has SCOTUS ever picked a settled case and just changed it? No, they cannot do that. It has to come before them as somebody challenging the law.
Right.
And not only does somebody have to challenge it, they have to agree to hear it.
Well, they have to agree to hear it. It has to have worked its way up through the courts in the first place, and it also has to pose a question that the original precedent does not clearly answer.
Well, they can change precedent. I mean,
sure,
it's happened a few times, but the odds of Roe being overturned are fucking zero.
Yeah, since 1973 and all the slings and arrows it's gone through in the last 30, 40 years or whatever. It's not like it couldn't happen. It's just not likely as much as they're saying here.
Gregory Hurst, thank you. Yeah, he said, are you scared yet? If not, I'm fired. Reporters. Exactly, yes.
Well, that's because...
Okay, am I sounding any better?
Yeah, you sound good, Pat. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Satsu.
As I said, that's because fear-mongering is the only thing they know how to do at this point.
Yeah. Well, there's a great tweet I want to read to you guys. It's about this. A guy named Matthew K said, literally in tears, haven't felt this hopeless in a long time. With Justice Kennedy leaving, we now only have 2 options as Americans: getting fitted for your Nazi uniform or reporting directly to your death camp. How do you fight the darkness without light? My spark is going.
Well, I'm a 42 long.
Jesus. It's so, I mean, that's, look, I said I didn't vote for Trump, but out of the 2, I was hoping he would win over Hillary, specifically because of the Supreme Court. I trust a conservative justice to read the law as it is written more than I do a liberal justice. And we saw that just the other day with the one yesterday, the Muslim ban, the Muslim ban. We saw Sonia Mayor talk about her fucking feelings and what Donald Trump said on the didn't matter. What the law actually says is what's important. And if we get another justice in there who reads the damn law, I'm happy.
Do you smush her name together on purpose?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Let's see. The next question that's apparently being posed. Will affirmative action come to an end?
If it comes back, yes.
Kennedy has a mixed record on racial remedies. Racial remedies sounds vaguely threatening. In 2007, he was the 5th vote against Seattle and Louisville public school assignment plans that took students' race into account for district-wide diversity. But he broke with his conservative brethren who wanted to shut the door completely on such integration measures. In 2016, Kennedy was also the 5th vote to uphold a University of Texas at Austin affirmative action program that considered students' race as one of many factors in the admissions decision, again for campus diversity. But Roberts strongly objects to racial policies, and a case-testing university affirmative action at Harvard could soon be working its way to the high court. In the balance would be a 1978 precedent, Regents of the University of California v. Back, which first allowed race to be considered in admissions decisions. Without Kennedy, it could fall and campus affirmative action be prohibited.
And it should be. And what's going on at Harvard? There was a story yesterday that we didn't get to. We just didn't. And it shows that not only has Harvard been doing that shit, using affirmative action, they've been, how do I put this? Slandering Asians in order to keep Asians out so that they could get more blacks and Latinos. They show that if a Asian person had, if you look at their admittance paperwork, everything, and it gave them a 25% chance to get into Harvard. Yes, ma'am.
I was going out there and get my belly up and get my panties.
Okay. All right. I love you. You silly goose.
Oh my gosh.
Ah, God. Anyway, yeah. If the admittance stuff, with everything considered, gave an Asian a 25% chance to get into Harvard, it gave a white guy a 35% chance with the exact same scores. And it gave a Latino, like, I think it was 75%, and then a black student, 80 to 95% getting in. That is not fair. Just make it all the same. Take everybody's race and shit off the admittance for all I care. Just don't base any of it on fucking race, because that is, by definition, racist and should end.
Oh boy, we'll see. I'm curious to see how that's actually going to go and how the black community is going to respond to that.
Let's see. The next question: who is the new swing vote?
Okay, well, you keep your panties up. All right.
Who is the new swing vote? If there is one, it's Chief Justice John Roberts. Of the 4 conservatives who Kennedy is leaving behind, Roberts is closest to the left, which is an amazing thing to hear. Justices Clarence Thomas and Neil Gorsuch are farthest on the right. Samuel Alito falls generally between that pair and Roberts. With another appointee in the mold of Gorsuch, Roberts would be pivotal if he chooses to be more moderate. Yet if he joins with the 4 liberals, as Kennedy often did, Roberts would likely still lead to a decision with a more conservative bent than Kennedy did. Sounds reasonable, I suppose.
Well, they're not wrong. I mean, if you look at the Obamacare decision, he actually, Roberts voted in favor of it, but also wrote dissent, which is fucking weird. What, sweetie? You tooted by me.
Hi, Grandpa. What about Ruth Bader Ginsburg? This senior liberal will increasingly be relegated to the dissent. Okay. She and fellow liberals Stephen Breyer, Sonia Sotomayor, and Elena Kagan will be fighting the rightward tide even more than they did during the recently completed term. Well, if we're talking about, okay, I don't know. When we talk about the Supreme Court fighting on ideological political sides of things, I get kind of like, I understand that it's just a fact of life, but at the same time, it's like they can cross the aisle when it comes to just reading the law from time to time, 7-2 kind of thing.
Real quick, thank you, Gregory Hirsch. Thanks, Monkey. I will keep my panties up. It's good advice. Well, we saw it with the hate speech decision last year.
right,
or the year before now. It's been a while. That was a 9-0 thing. And while we do have, yes, there are conservatives, there are liberals. The one thing about the court, no matter how much they annoy me, they generally try to read the law, and that helps. Thank you, Flair Fritz. I can't handle how adorable Grand Monkey is. You should see her in person. There's a reason she's spoiled.
Let's see. Just on Wednesday, Kagan declared that the majority was overturning an important 1977 labor case simply, quote, because it wanted to, unquote. In her dissenting opinion, signed by the 3 other liberals, she suggested that the conservative majority, even with Kennedy, talks as if it values precedent but does not always deliver. Quote, there's no sugarcoating today's opinion, she declared. The majority overthrows a decision entrenched in this nation's law. Such an assertion takes on greater weight now that so many other decades-old cases may be in the balance. Maybe.
Well,
okay.
For those of you who don't know what she's talking about, and I don't know if you have it pulled up for news, is the union decision that just came down. Unions have been able to collect fees from people who are non-union members in certain states, including California. I think there's 20 other states.
Yep. And
people challenged it, saying, look, this is wrong. You can't force me to give them money. And the original decision said, okay, look, you can't take all the dues because unions do political action. Mm-hmm. And by taking all of the dues, you're forcing people to support that action. But if you only take a little bit of the dues, that money won't go towards political action, which is kind of hard to separate all of this money and say that it wasn't. So the Supreme Court
money's fungible.
Yes. They came down and said, look, no, you can't force people to pay union dues if they're not in the union. So,
yeah. And the last question they have on here is, what happens to the death penalty? I think it's still a state thing, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It probably won't be overturned.
Yeah, Kennedy was a consistent vote for the death penalty, but he favored exemptions, for example, for people who were under 18 at the time of the crime. In 2008, he was the 5th vote, with the 4 liberals, to strike down a Louisiana law that permitted the death penalty for the rape of a child. The justices in a 1977 case involving an adult had generally banned the death penalty for the rape. Kennedy also separated himself from fellow conservatives on some criminal justice issues, including the use of solitary confinement. In a concurring opinion in the 2015 case of Davis v. Ayala, he encouraged prison officials and policymakers to weigh, quote, the human toll wrought by extended times in terms of isolation. Sorry. So there you go. That's CNN's breakdown of all the doom and gloom that may come down the pike because Kennedy steps aside without knowing who's going to step into the place next.
And it's stupid because chances are the only one that might get overturned anytime soon would be the affirmative action. And that's just because there's a case going forward right now. I don't think the court would even bother hearing Roe right now. There's no reason to. I just can't get over how much people are freaking out about this.
So basically, CNN is fear mongering.
No,
CNN fear mongering. Well, if there was any question as to who's fear mongering, I thought I might follow this up with a supplementary piece from our friends at Splinter.
Oh my God.
Because speaking of the options of who Trump might select or attempt to put into place, this comes from Rafi Schwartz at Splinter, and this is the headline. Here are some of the monsters Trump is considering as Anthony Kennedy's replacement.
The monsters.
The monsters.
Jesus fuck.
This isn't very long. Relatively speaking. Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy, the court's key swing vote who was fairly good on LGBTQ rights and a disaster on virtually everything else, announced his retirement on Wednesday, handing President Donald Trump the opportunity to name a second far-right monster to the highest court in the land twice within his first term in office. While it remains to be seen who Trump will pick as Kennedy's successor, the president said on Wednesday that he would fill the vacancy by choosing from a list of 25 contenders published by the White House last November.
What are you doing?
Who's that?
You can tell everyone night-night? Did you just toot and then say night-night?
Jesus.
Oh, she worked it up
Night-night.
too. You should have seen. You could see her face. She was trying.
Night night.
Jeez.
You're silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So from the 25 list of 25 contenders published by the White House last November, Trump chose his first nominee, Neil Gorsuch, from a similar list published during the 2016 campaign. As you may remember, that list is a who's who of monsters, ghouls, and cartoonish villains whose sheer proximity to the Supreme Court should elicit terror. Okay. I'm just gonna be a complete nitpicker here. Now, I could be wrong. I am an English major, so it's possible. But when you say something to the effect of whose sheer proximity to the Supreme Court should elicit terror from anyone not in favor of forcing women to carry all fetuses. Illicit. How do you spell illicit? It's my list. Yeah, no.
You're asking me how to spell. That's not a good
So,
thing.
okay, well, here's the thing. So he spells it with the I, illicit, as though it were like illegal.
Oh,
Where
okay.
illicit is with an E. So he said, should elicit terror. And I'm like, illicit terror, like illegal terror? Okay, this guy just doesn't know his vocabulary. Anyway, this is Splinter. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the people he's listed off here and his reasons why they're a monster. First off, someone, and I don't know who any of these people are, as far as I know, Brett Kavanaugh, a one-time clerk for Justice Kennedy, who also helped serve on Ken Starr's impeachment investigation of President Bill Clinton. Kavanaugh is widely considered the front-runner for his former boss's seat. Kavanaugh is currently serving on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia. His nomination to that court was criticized for the part he played in helping craft the legal framework for the Bush administration's domestic spying program. Since then, he's been a staunch supporter of gun owners and an opponent of abortion rights, having written a dissenting opinion to a ruling that allowed a 17-year-old undocumented immigrant to end her pregnancy while in U.S. custody. He is 52 years old. Okay. Amy Coney Barrett, a Trump appointment to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Seventh Circuit. This former Notre Dame law professor is a staunch Christian conservative who has called Roe v. Wade, quote, an erroneous decision, signed a statement of protest calling the Affordable Care Act's birth control mandate an assault on religious liberty, and spoken. How about and has spoken? How about and has spoken? And spoken before the Alliance Defending Freedom, a Southern Poverty Law Center designated anti-LGBTQ hate group. Jesus. She was approved for the Seventh Circuit by a vote of 55 to 43, with 3 Democratic senators, Joe Manchin, Joe Donnelly, and Tim Kaine, joining Republicans to back her nomination. I don't see monsters here.
Well, she isn't fully in favor of abortion, so she's a monster.
Monsters basically means I don't like this person.
Yeah,
yes.
This is each one of these entries is just. Now, I have no idea who these people are. I don't know how they're going to operate as a justice, but this is just pure bigotry, is what it is.
Random American says sounds good so far. Yeah, I don't think they're going to get the reaction they're trying to elicit.
Elicit, yes. I'm not going to read the rest of it because it's honestly kind of boring. Because I suppose if someone on his side of the ideological argument would be shocked and dismayed by whatever he's saying, I just read it as, here are facts about this person's past decisions. And I'm neutral on it because if there's one thing that the Supreme Court tends to do over time, and this has been seen even with Justice Roberts and so on, is that once you put somebody in a position for life that cannot be voted out and is not subject directly to political pressures, at least not technically, they tend to become more moderate over time, regardless of what side of the aisle they started off on.
Yeah, and you see that even in the decisions where they vote how you expect them to. I mean, they just mentioned in that CNN article that Thomas is one of the most right-wing ones. But if you read his decisions, they're not all that right-wing. He's just going by what the fucking law says.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when you hear somebody say, oh, that person's a monster, you're like, holy shit, what did they do? They disagree with me once, and I asked them what they think about gays, and they shrugged and said, that's horrible.
Now, here's the other thing too. Even like that one justice he's talking about that was like thought Roe versus Wade was an erroneous decision. Her thinking that doesn't change it. She can't just. I mean, if you put somebody into that position and they have an opinion on something that's been ruled on previously, they don't have the power to just undo it. They are part of a process where it has to come before them. And if it never comes before them, or the justices decide not to hear a case that would challenge it, then who cares what she thinks about it?
James Colley says, I saw on Fox News that Trump won't make a decision until after midterm elections. I have trouble believing that.
I'd be surprised.
I mean, if they mean he won't make the decision until after the election, but still before the new Congress takes their seat, maybe, but the sooner he does it, the better off for him.
Let's see. Well, Trump is giving a speech right now in a rally in North Dakota. CNN has a running blog of things that he said. Let's see. I'll read a couple of excerpts. Trump takes aim at Congresswoman Maxine Waters, who he calls the new leader of the Democratic Party. President Trump, speaking at a rally in North Dakota, said that the new leader of the Democratic Party was Maxine Waters, adding that she's taking over. Trump began the remarks focused on hitting Democratic Senator Heidi Heitkamp. Trump is campaigning for Kevin Cramer, who is running against Heitkamp, who the president has a good relationship with. Okay. What else? Let's see. Trump says ICE is being liberated. Okay. President Trump, discussing ICE and immigration, said the agency is, quote, being liberated under his presidency. Trump added, while speaking at a rally in Fargo, that communities would be overrun if ICE was removed. The president also admonished, quote, radical Democratic protesters, unquote, who have released the identities and addresses of ICE agents. In reality, WikiLeaks was a major, and I believe the first, to leak the identities. Oh, this is coming from the author of the article there. So I don't know if that's true. Did Democratic protesters not look up all the LinkedIn stuff and put it out there of their own accord? Because they did. We read a story about that the other day.
Yeah, but it's not their fault because it's convenient for it to not be their fault.
Yeah, because WikiLeaks did it first. That makes what they did okay, I guess.
Chat, you guys are saying so many interesting things today. Yeah. Where was that? BG said, I guess following the laws is right wing these days. It is when it comes to the Supreme Court. Like I said, there's a lot of times where they fall on the right side regardless. And if you look at like Kelo, there's times they all fall on the wrong fucking side. But like Roe v. Wade never should have been decided by the Supreme Court. That always should have been a states' right thing. But it was judicial activism. And there's a lot of people who think that's how things should be done, is that when the laws aren't right, the Supreme Court is supposed to step in and make it right for everybody. And that's not how it's supposed to work. It's really not. And so, yeah, it is right wing if you follow the law on the Supreme Court.
Let's see. I've got 2 stories left. I'll try to cover them pretty quick. Something that got pushed down by all the other craziness of today. Apparently, satellite images show North Korea is upgrading its nuclear facility. That's not good. New satellite images show North Korea has made rapid improvements to the infrastructure of its Yongbyon Nuclear Scientific Research Center, a facility used to produce weapons-grade fissile material, according to an analysis published by 38 North, a prominent North Korea monitoring group. Okay.
Yongbyon?
Y-O-N-G-B-Y-O-N. Yongbyon. I'm assuming. I'm probably screwing it up. Ask Cryptic. Captured on June 21st, the photos reveal modifications to the site's plutonium production reactor and the construction of several support facilities, long-planned upgrades that were already underway before North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and U.S. President Donald Trump met in Singapore earlier this month. Well, you would think they would stop if they were really honest about negotiating out of this, but When contacted by CNN about 38 North's analysis, the Unification Ministry said they, quote, cannot confirm the report and are watching it closely. Okay. The report states that continued work on the Yongbyon facility should not be seen as having any relationship to North Korea's pledge to denuclearize. It's in direct contradiction to the idea that they're going to denuclearize. Okay. So yeah, there you go. North Korea not stopping. Don't know what that means in the long run. And
Captain Bramble says he's just putting in a water slide. Yeah.
Yeah, from the cooling tower all the way down.
Keeping an eye on North Korea.
Oh, wow.
What?
Curtis Cook is a writer for Comedy Central, and he tweeted out, I wish this Kennedy had been shot instead of the other ones.
Oh, wow.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Can you retweet that?
This is from the Daily Caller. I'll have to look it up, but yeah, I'll find it and tweet that out.
But what the hell is wrong with these celebrities lately, boy? They've been on one.
Oh, God.
What is Jesus Christ? Yeah, my ideological opponent. How I'm going to defeat him? Murder. How about something that is to end the news, at least the straight news? How about something that's bittersweet? Is really the only phrase that comes to mind after a fashion, but still very tragic.
It looks like he may have deleted that tweet.
Oh,
you think?
Do you have a screenshot of it?
They do it at the story.
Okay.
Hang on, I'm looking to see if I can find a different.
Yeah, if you can crop that out and send that out, I'd appreciate it. Okay.
Read all they want. It's still there.
So this has been going around today, and I heard it on the radio this morning, and this is okay. A man who couldn't swim sacrifices his life to save a boy from drowning. Even though he couldn't swim, Victor Mosqueda, I hope I'm saying that right, jumped into a raging river to save a 5-year-old boy from drowning. He rescued the boy, but died in the process. His family says the selfless act was no surprise. Quote, he would always do things for others. That's just the way he was raised. Ivan Gonzalez, Victor's brother-in-law, and also the boy's uncle, told CNN. Mosqueda, 22, left his Santa Clarita, California home Saturday morning for a family trip to Sequoia National Park. When the family arrived around 7 a.m., they were eager to walk alongside the river. It was slippery. That's when the boy, Vincent Gonzalez, fell in, the boy's uncle said. And even though Mosqueda couldn't swim, quote, he was the first one to jump in to save the little boy. Vincent's mom and dad jumped in right after. Quote, it was about 4 or 5 people in the water trying to reach them. A fisherman and a Marine also jumped in, Gonzalez explained. The currents were too strong. Mosqueda and Vincent went under several times trying to escape the rushing water, but Mosqueda never let go of the child. Quote, Vincent held on to Victor's neck, Gonzalez said. Mosqueda was able to push the little boy towards his parents right before he went under a final time. Bystanders on the scene gave the boy CPR. Paramedics flew him to the emergency room in a helicopter. He is now recovering. Quote, I asked if he was okay, and he said, I'm okay, uncle. Remembering Victor Mosqueda, 2 hours passed before searchers recovered Mosqueda's body. His family holds close memories of the aspiring musician in their hearts. Quote, he loved playing his guitar, singing, soccer, and hiking, Maria Mosqueda, Victor's sister, told CNN. Victor was a happy person, humble, caring, loving, respectful, laid back, and friendly. He loved going outdoors and being next to nature. A GoFundMe account has been established to help the family with funeral costs, and I'm going to tweet that out because I can't even fathom, no pun intended, that kind of thing. So
I'm curious as to what happened, like between the time that he saved and retrieved the kid, and them finding him. Like, after they saved the kid, they were just like, all right, cool, we got the kid. And
what he probably did is like grab the kid and pushed him to like a rock or something, or pushed him over to the other people, and it just got carried. They said that the current was pretty bad, and even if you're a strong swimmer, a strong current can fuck you up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very strong swimmer, and my brother got caught in an undertow once, and I pulled him out and ended up swimming for like 30 minutes in the same goddamn spot. And nobody knew that I was in trouble because I looked like I was just out there swimming.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You get in the wrong
Like
current,
that.
man, it will fuck you up.
Yeah, it's like mad respects for him, man.
Yeah, I've heard stories like this before where people who can't swim try to save kids, and usually they both end up dying. So this is, I mean, it's sad to say. I mean, this was at least a good ending for the kid. Those guys, I mean, you got to give respect for that. Like, you know what? My life doesn't matter as much as this kid's does.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I know I can't swim, but I'm going to try. And my hat's off. Uh-oh. What are you doing up?
You didn't go.
I'm not going to bed right now. You and Grandma are going to bed.
But you supposed to go.
But I'm supposed to go?
Yeah.
But it's
almost dark time.
oh, it's almost dark time? Well, Grandpa goes to bed after it's dark time. I love you. Okay. That's why I have a light. Nothing. I'll go to sleep in a little bit. You go to sleep first, and Grandpa will come and sleep later. Watch your finger. You're gonna crush it in the door, baby. I'll sleep later with you. I promise. And Grandma. Oh my God, that's right. I will.
And we'll go Chuck E. Cheese.
No, we already went to Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah, it'll be a little while before we go again, honey. Okay, love you. Sorry, guys.
Oh, man. Too adorable.
You're supposed to go to bed, monkey.
Yeah, because it's getting dark out. It's getting dark out. Well, she's ever since, God, last year, her bedtime is usually about 8 o'clock, but it's not dark out at 8 o'clock. And she's noticed that, and she'll tell you, it's not dark out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, let me close these curtains and see how dark it is now.
That's funny.
Like I can still see light.
Oh, man, that kid.
That's all the stories I had.
Cool. Which, got to get into my voice here. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's a story you'd like us to read, hit us up at the hashtag MSS News over on the Twitter machine. We can't get to all of them, but we get to as many as we can, and we appreciate every entry. Scribe?
Thank you, Monkey. Moving on to MSS News, I have to take off the filter that Twitter automatically puts onto my results. There we go. Moving on. Let's see. Let me scroll down a bit because I know a lot of people sent stuffs. Well, I won't even read the story, but here's an amazing headline that I wouldn't have imagined. From Massive Dynamics, Marvel Studios are planning to introduce brand new heroes following Avengers 4. You think?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Because maybe the actors are tired of doing that and their contracts run out, so it's time to like bring in the Young Avengers or maybe the New Warriors or something else. Sure.
Now, let me ask you guys, do you think that's a good move or a bad move? Here's my thoughts on it real fast. I think they should just replace the characters they have rather than bringing in B and C teams of Marvel heroes.
Yes and no. It depends. First and foremost, it depends on how they hand off the torch in certain situations. If they introduce characters into a mainline Avengers movie, like the Avengers 4 comes out, and as a result of whatever happens with that, maybe they tease the Fantastic Four's origin in Avengers 4, and then you got the Fantastic Four. Maybe they hand the mantle of Iron Man off to Rhodey or something. That'd be fine, If they try to like force it on you and sort of ham-fist it without people actually being attracted to the characters. Like people would love a Loki movie at this point, just because Loki's like the Boba Fett of the Marvel universe. But if they try to force it, it's going to not, I think, be as successful as if it's an outgrowth of building up over time.
And there's also an issue now that people are already having with the replacing of characters and just being like, forget everything you've been watching for the past 10 years. This person is now Tony Stark. And it's just like, no, that's not going to work for me. Like, it's just, I'm sorry. Well,
somebody in chat said just James Bond, those characters. It's been done in franchises before.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that if they start bringing in, if they do the Fantastic Four, I think you're right. They could have a good thing there. But if they take the Avengers and get rid of all of the main characters in the Marvel Universe, and you got to remember, the Avengers are actually the B team. These are, they come after the X-Men and Spider-Man. And I just think if they bring in the C team, things are going to be shit.
I mean, it depends on execution, obviously, but I don't know. I think just fucking, replacing them with like different people and expecting to go on with some type of coherent story and to keep people engaged that's a bit of a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Cryptic. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I was about saying, it's like how Scribe said, it all depends on how you do it. If you just pass off the torch, it might go well, compared to just like forcing it on to people. It's like, oh, this is that and that and this, and you have to accept it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cryptic. Marvel Comics is shooting for over 50% women diversity, LGBT plus IABC bumfuck in the most recent interview from the head.
You know what would probably help is if the actors who play the characters now had a hand in selecting their replacement. Like if Robert Downey Jr. gave his blessing in the real world to whomever Marvel came up with to be the new Tony Stark or something, I think that would help with the fan base at least accepting it.
It would help, yeah. But I don't know how much.
Well, I'm fine with people being recast just as long as the recasting is done smartly and not just like getting a name, but somebody actually fits the bill. Like prior to Thor, did anybody? I don't think Chris Hemsworth was as big a name, right? So they went and found somebody who fit the bill, who could do it, who could play the character, even though he wasn't an A-list star, and he's become, he is Thor now. And I don't think it's impossible for somebody else to take up the shoes. The problem is that if they do it all at once, like suddenly we have a new Tony Stark and a new Thor and a new Steve Rogers, that would suck. So they'd have to like phase it in somehow or make an excuse in the course of the story to do so.
Yeah, personally, I think the only way that would work is if they like reset and take like a different angle.
I hope they don't do a reboot. If they should have a contiguous story, even if they replace actors and things. If they do a hard reboot of the Marvel universe, that is setting aside decades of continuity and fan appreciation. So I don't think they could easily do that.
Well, so is swapping out the people though. Like
that's easier if you. Like I say, if you move it in, if you ease it in, if you have a movie or two go by without Tony Stark and then Tony Stark shows up, somebody else. Yeah, it depends. I guess we'll find out 20 years from now because Marvel's not going to end until I'm dead and afterwards.
I don't know, man. It's just, for me, in my mind, I don't know. I just can't see it. It's just like your mom is coming home from work every day and then just like some random Tuesday, a lady walks in like, I'm your mom now. It's just like
wait. You put Robert Downey Jr. on the same level as your mother?
Yes, he is my hero. No, I'm just
they did that on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, didn't they?
Yeah, well, they did do that. Well, yeah.
Well, they did it with Rhodey. Terrence Howard wrote Rhodey in the first movie, and nobody, and and Don Cheadle did a great job, and nobody cares. So,
yeah, it could be done. I just think it's.
I didn't mean to get us so off topic there. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Let's see. How about this one? This one comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. Bernier, if the story will pull up because it's taking its sweet time. Okay.
While that's loading, somebody said alternate universe, and I think that might be a good idea.
They could do that.
Yeah. They could. You know what? If they did a series of what if movies, I'd be happy with that.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, they could do all types of things. They could do an anthology movie, like with 3 different stories there. Like, what if or no, what if Star-Lord hadn't awoken Thanos and they'd actually gotten the Infinity Gauntlet off?
Yeah.
Or something like that. Just these key points. Yeah, and it would be great. And as long as they classified it as these are what ifs, these are alternate histories. Hell, even though he'll probably be gone by then, if you had it introduced by Stan Lee as the Watcher or something, it's like, hello, true believers. That kind of thing.
We all mentioned Rhodey got brought up, but Random American pointed out they did it with the Hulk too. That is true.
Yes, that's true. Oh, yeah. But they had plenty of time in between movies to let you kind of forget about Edward Norton. Anyway, moving on to other things. Man found dead in beer cooler at Atlanta Braves Stadium is ID'd as third-party contractor from Minnesota. Dead in a beer cooler. Okay.
Somebody closed the door on his ass.
A man was found dead in a walk-in beer cooler at the Atlanta Braves Stadium hours before the Braves were scheduled to host the Cincinnati Reds, police said. The body of 48-year-old Todd Keeling, a third-party contractor from Minnesota, was found by another worker at SunTrust Park Tuesday, the Cobb County Police said Wednesday. Police told ABC it was too early to indicate if foul play was involved. Quote, there's so many avenues that it could go, but at this time we're just gathering information, the police said. Can you get trapped inside of a walk-in cooler? Do they have that thing where you can't open it from the inside?
You can. Yeah, some of them you can.
Because I'm wondering, did it not have no emergency, that button that you can push just in case?
Yeah, I thought there was.
He was drunk. Couldn't find it. It was a beer cooler.
It was a beer cooler, so
let's see. I'm trying to get some other stories here before we get too late in the day. We already kind of are because of Marvel. Okay, this one comes from Signal Boost. Don't know what this is about, but I'll find out as soon as it loads. Boy, my internet's going slow today. I hope I'm not roboting for you guys.
No, you're fine.
Okay, well, okay. I don't know if it's the transition from Twitter to someplace else, but man, it's okay. Hundreds of people bring backpacks instead of flowers to woman's funeral. Okay. In accordance with one woman's final wish, there were backpacks lining the pews at her funeral instead of flowers. Tammy Waddell passed away earlier this month at the age of 58 from a prolonged illness at Northside Hospital Forsyth in Georgia. But before she died, she asked for people to bring backpacks filled with school supplies to her funeral. Waddell worked as a paraprofessional and a teacher at several schools in the Forsyth County School District. At one point in her 30-year career, she was even recognized as Teacher of the Year. So when she utilized her funeral as a means of giving back to her students one last time, no one was surprised by the compassionate gesture. Quote, those around her recognized Tammy by her generosity, selflessness, and unconditional love, says her obituary. Though her achievements and accolades are numerous, none are greater than the many lives that she changed over the course of her 3 decades in education. Let's see. My cousin, a teacher, wanted backpacks with supplies brought to her funeral instead of flowers for needy students, serving others to the end. I see. The backpacks will be donated to Project Connect, a school district initiative that donates school supplies to the region's neediest students. Well, that's nice.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
That's really good. I like that.
So don't give me flowers. Instead, just bring backpacks to give to the kids.
Yeah, that's awesome. At my funeral, I don't want you to bring flowers. I want you to bring midgets to pass around.
Pass around in
Except
what fashion?
left cheek. That's me.
Whichever way you want to use them. I have a story I want to read here. It comes to us from Subcon Jazz. And this is the root. Just going to throw that out there.
Oh, boy. Is it Michael Harriot? It's
actually Stephen Crockett.
Oh, okay.
Crockett Jr. Donald Trump Jr. just used the word lit, and I feel triggered.
If you use the word lit and you feel triggered, does that make you a fuse?
I'm guessing.
No, it makes you a little bitch. But anyway.
I'm just now realizing that it isn't just the Trump administration's policies that drive me nuts. It's not the rambling speeches President Chi-Chi von Fuckface makes, or even the endless rallies that include those rambling speeches. It's the tweets. And not just the tweets, but the victory lap tweets.
Oh.
If this were the original Karate Kid, the Trump administration, most notably Trump and his dumbass son Donald Jr., aka not Ivanka, would be Cobra Kai. If this were the Goonies, the Trump administration would be that asshole that tried to kill Brand. Maybe, oh my God.
Oh, God.
Maybe it's the influx of power, considering that his father is the president, or maybe it's his divorce and countless hours spent in the gym trying to undo the genetic landscape that will sag his body into a potato sack shape that it is his destiny.
Holy shit.
I was like, oh boy, is envious.
Wow. Or maybe it's his new boo thing, Fox News host Kimberly Guilfoyle. I don't know how to say her name, which I always read as Gargoyle. But something has gotten into not Ivanka that has him tweeting lit. I wish I were joking. On Wednesday, after learning the Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy was retiring, Trump tweeted, "Oh my God, just when you thought this week couldn't get more lit, I give you Anthony Kennedy's retirement from SCOTUS." Yeah, this guy's really pissed off that he used the word lit. This goes on for...
Wow.
You got to give him credit for the insults, man. That was fucking bad.
No, well, not only were they creative, but they were also targeted explicitly at yours and my, and probably Pat's too, age group. Because who else would get, Goonies references and things like that. But at the same time, has this guy graduated high school?
I don't know. I'm assuming so. At his age.
That's insane.
The shade.
Potato sack shape that is his destiny. That's fucked up.
Funny though.
So now be looking out for a massive black meeting determining whether or not they're going to be able to use that word anymore.
You can't say lit.
You can't say lit. It triggers.
You colonizers.
Yeah, that is lit is a tool of white supremacy.
Of course it is.
Don't give Tariq Nasheed ideas.
Oh no.
I think everybody should tweet at Stephen Crockett lit.
Yeah, get lit. Wait, isn't that also slang for like getting like targeted for death or something? Like you've been lit up or something? Or green lit, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
No, if you've been lit up, then you're already dead.
That's okay. Right. This is me being white. Sorry.
It's okay. Your white is showing.
I know. Can't help it. I just can't help it.
And Subcon Jazz says, wasn't the author white? It's hard to tell. He could have some Negro in him.
And while he was writing it?
What, was this a Pornhub or something?
I mean, he looks kind of white, but
is he Sean King?
So he's Sean King in that shit.
Yeah, Sean King.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all the news I had to read, I guess, and my voice is starting to fade out. So.
Yeah, sorry about the lack of that, guys. I got us off on the Marvel thing and took up most of our time, but we will get to more of those tomorrow night on Satsu's channel, which brings us, guys, to YouTube time. Satsu, what'd you work on?
Same videos, the same series of videos to upload on 2 Cents Plus. And I got up this morning and I was getting ready to do the video that I planned for today. And I don't know, man. I sat here for like 10 minutes just looking at my computer screen and I'm just like, fuck this shit. And I started fucking cleaning my house. Like aggressively cleaning my house. Like I washed the dishes, I did the fucking laundry, I cleaned the living room. Like I just was like, no, I need to get this shit off my brain. Because yesterday, like you guys may not have noticed, but yesterday, that shit, man, I talked to Monkey after the stream and I was like on borderline depression. Just like all the shit that's been going on, and I'm like, I can't let this shit get to me. And Monkey was like, you gotta fucking take a step back for a moment, dude, because you're you're letting this shit eat away at you. And I really have been, and it's been putting me in a very negative, like almost borderline depressing type mood. And I've been trying to pull myself out of it. So I cleaned my house, and that's like therapeutic for me. So I might just do it tomorrow, but yeah. So that's how my day went.
Cool. Scribbles?
Well, I had a busy day at work. I didn't get to work on any videos, but I watched a whole lot of stuff today. I watched a panel discussion at a diversity and inclusion conference. I watched or at least started watching a TEDx about intersectional feminism. And what was that last thing I was starting just before I went off? I put it on the Twitter thing. I forget all of a sudden what it was because it just about numbed my brain. But either way, the TEDx talk on intersectional feminism, I want to do something on. The problem is that the audio is so bad. It was one of the worst audio recorded TEDx's I've ever seen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to fiddle with the sound some to make it at least passable, because I've done videos before where the audio wasn't that great and, was able to make it work. So yeah, I might do a video on it if I can make it at least the audio palatable. And if I can only make it so-so and I still do a video, I'll give plenty of warning ahead of time. Like, if you can't stand the audio, best I could do kind of thing. So we'll see.
Thank you, Three-Sided Coin. I'm behind in the stream, so you're probably past this, but where am I going to get a midget by next week? I'm not dying next week. Also, don't you mean I was a good swimmer? Oh, yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Thanks for reminding me of my handicap, you bitch.
Well, here's the thing, Monkey. When you said that, I absolutely said that in my head, but I'm like, you know what? So you ain't got to be a dick all the time. That's
somebody in chat will be a dick for you if you're not. Matt, what you been working on, bud?
I ain't been working on nothing lately. I was trying to do. I would have did something there if I wasn't at work from 4 a.m. to noon today.
Damn.
But the only thing I know, it's my schedule is really jacked up. But it's lately, it's a lot of people have been bugging me about the like 3 months ago, I did a video about the whole Whitney, Wisconsin channel getting terminated and all that stuff right there. Mm-hmm. And I've been wondering lately, it's been just coming up, people have been answering, why did you support this girl right here? And it turns out I checked that video. The last time I did it, it had about 7,000 views, but now it's done boost up to 12,000. So I'm like, what the fuck done went on with Whitney, Wisconsin right now? And it turns out she's back in the news again. MSN.com did something about, she's saying drinking dog's piss can cure acne and all that bullshit right there. And I'm like, oh, this motherfucker's doing some nasty stuff again, which we all know Whitney, Wisconsin is a disgusting person. So a lot of people have been kind of blowing me up on my video. How can you defend this person right here? And I'm like, I wasn't defending that person. I was defending that person's freedom of speech, being able to, say this and say that. And they was also got mad because I used a transgender person who said that Whitney, Wisconsin, and people like her shouldn't have platforms. And I said, how would you like it if somebody said, well, trans shouldn't have platforms, and then they tried to censor you? And she understood that. And so a lot of people got mad at that right there. Tomorrow, one's different from the other. But I'm like, yeah, but both of them still have, the right to free speech and platforms and all that right there, whether you like what they're saying or not. And I've been trying to squid all that most of all. So that was most of my day right there, besides listening to Mad Maxine and the rest of this, crazy ass stuff that's been going on in politics. So it's been kind of fun today.
If you want to see it, that video of Whitney, Wisconsin drinking piss is out there. We covered a story that actually had it linked in the story.
Yeah,
and it's nasty, dude. But I get what you're saying. Yeah. I don't support what the crazy bitch does, but I don't think she should be shut down because she says crazy, stupid shit.
Unless she's abusing animals. Yeah, that's something different. But yeah.
But in fairness, she wasn't abusing the animal. She caught its pee as it peed regularly.
Right. Yeah.
Which is still gross. It's fucking nasty.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying right there. It's that's a real problem right there. She's a nasty person that does this stuff right here because she knows it's going to get her attention and it's going to get a rise out of people. And a lot of people, I don't like that, so therefore censor her. But I'm like, how would you like it if somebody said that about you? If you were saying or you were doing something that they didn't like, and they call for your censorship, you'd be screaming, that's unfair.
Real quick, Midnight in Exile says, yeah, but isn't she fucking the animal? That's abuse. If you can prove that's what she's doing and not just something she's saying.
Yeah, that's another thing right there. I've never seen her fuck a dog, so I can't sit up there and say it's true.
But
and I don't want to see that.
Her and her boyfriend are going to jail.
She got a boyfriend?
Yes, yes. They're going to jail for filming porn around the area that she lives in, and Chaos Eve, trannies shouldn't have platforms. Your boy Pat, 2018. God damn it.
That's a direct quote, boy. You fuck.
No, but
goddamn, yeah, they would.
They
would
were
put that on me.
They were filming porn all around the area they live in, and one of the problems, especially for the boyfriend, is she was underage while they were filming it.
Oh, that'll do it.
Yeah. So yeah, there's some jail time for both of them coming. They were there was a story about that the same day as the dog pee drinking thing came out. I didn't do shit today. I went to my doctor who didn't do anything for me. We're gonna stay on the same regimen we're on right now. And here's why. In the 3 months since I saw her last, I haven't thought about killing myself, and that's honest, guys. There are times when this has gotten so bad that has entered my head. And I was talking to the doctor about that today. You know, if you have 10 really bad days in a row, that 10th day, you're like, you know what? Sitting in traffic doesn't sound so bad today. But since I hadn't had any of those kind of thoughts in the last 3 months, we're just going to stick with the regimen we're on for the next 6 and see what happens. Yay. But then we went to, dude, I got so depressed today. So depressed. We went to Chuck E. Cheese and had a great time. Great time at Chuck E. Cheese.
Sounds
and
depressing.
right next to Chuck E. Cheese is a Toys R Us.
Oh.
They close permanently tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true.
And we went in there, and we've been to this store many, many times, and it is a ghost town. They're literally selling everything. You want to buy shelves? You can go buy their shelves. You can buy their shopping carts for $35 a piece.
Oh, geez.
You can buy pricing guns, which, by the way, if you want to, never mind. I'm not saying that out loud. That's criminal behavior. Let me just tell you, you can buy pricing guns.
You want to use a pricing gun on a midget, don't you?
Well, no. You can buy the Toys R Us sign out front. I mean, it's so sad. This was part of my childhood.
Ooh,
yo.
I'd like that for like a decoration or something. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, man. That'd be something like really valuable on down the road.
I was so happy every time I got to go to Toys R Us as a kid, and to see it ending the way it is, it was just so sad. It was so sad.
Yeah, but nobody wants toys anymore. They want cell phones and all these mobile devices.
Speaking of that, then we went to Best Buy and I got happy again.
You know what I'm saying?
He's like, the adults.
I blame Samsung.
It's fucking Samsung.
So, what do we got for internet fucketry today, guys? Internet fucketry. We had Chris Curtis, or Curtis, whatever the hell his name was, wishing that a Kennedy had been shot.
Right.
Yeah, dickhole. I know I saw stuff this morning, but again, guys, I haven't been on the internet. I literally set this stream up 15 minutes before we started because we got home so late.
Oh, I don't know. This should have probably been like MSS.
Oh shit!
What?
I forgot to read a thing from Flair earlier.
Oh.
And he just did another one which reminded me of it. I am so sorry, Flair Fritz. He said, and thank you for the donation. Lit is a tool of the whites because the KKK would burn crosses to scare the nig away. Quote, that cross be lit to scare them darkies. This damn filter. I think it's probably a good thing in your case, Flair. And secondly, this darn filter makes it hard to be racist in super chats. And you also missed my previous super chat. For the record, I remembered it before I read this one. I just saw your name. I saw your name pop up, and that reminded me. I'm so sorry about missing the other one, and thank you so much for both of them.
I remembered it after I forgot.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, Sad. So I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh no, you got to get those super chats. Yeah, like I was saying, this story probably should have been MSS. But the cop. Wait, did we talk about this? The cop.
You got charged with the cop that shot the guy in Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania or whatever.
Yeah, he got charged.
Yeah, criminal homicide.
Yeah, I didn't know if we talked about that or not, but I had saw it earlier, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like actual punishment.
It can happen from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Flair, that's not nice. Thank you for the donation. I hope your farm falls in tonight.
Damn!
Wow. Jesus.
You gonna make that happen, Flair?
Uh-huh. We're still looking for who did the last fucketry.
I don't know if we need to look anymore.
You know what I'm saying, like guilty as charged. It was Flair.
Oh, I did see Michael Ian Black is writing a book on masculinity.
Oh, that's right. Did you see Mundane Matt's response to that?
I did not.
He said, "Is it called Soys to Men?"
Dude, all the comments in there were hilarious. Dude, we could spend the rest of this stream reading the comments because they were so fucking funny. Like, one of them was like, "It's always good to get an outside opinion," and then I put the title's gonna be masculinity. What is it, and how do I find it?
Yeah, he's just not a masculine man. But he did that he gave that talk. Well, it wasn't a talk. He was being interviewed, and didn't he talk about masculinity? And didn't you send it to me, Scribe?
Probably. I think so.
He was giving a talk on some or a interview on some place I've never heard of before, and it really darkly lit, which was weird. Yeah, and he talked about masculinity. It was one of the saddest things I've ever seen. I actually might buy his book just to laugh.
You do a dramatic reading.
Yeah, there you go. What else do we have going on in the world today, guys?
It's like besides all that, I think something I've seen is like, Kotaku talking about The Last of Us 2, talking about let queer people be happy and all that right there, because the protagonist of the game, is a lesbian and all that right there. And I guess in some of the scenes, just seeing with all that sad, depressing look on their face, while I'm white, they are in kind of a jacked up situation where it's like, if you know how the game goes.
Yeah, I flipped out about that shit on Facebook. I'm like, you do realize you are talking about a post-apocalyptic game where majority of the population is gone. Like, it sucks for everyone. Like, what the fuck do you mean? They're just like, well, they need to have fucking plot armor and should not ever be unhappy in anything. We want them included in everything, but we also want them excluded from anything bad that could happen to them. That's right.
So it's like she spends the whole entire article basically, bashing the game, talking about, oh, queer folk need to be happy. So when people came mad at then, I don't know, he, she, whatever the fuck that thing, that author was, basically like tried to flip the script, talking about, I'm not saying that, that they shouldn't be happy. I'm like, what the fuck are you saying? Are you saying like, let them be happy, or, they can't suffer, or they can't say this right here? Like what? Like, I'm in this post-apocalyptic world, but hey, I got to put a smile on my face and let's build a rainbow.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the? But that's Kotaku, man. They just full of shit. Them and Polygon.
Yeah. Kotaku and Polygon, man. They birds of a feather.
Now, Pat, one of the reasons that we had you on, one, we haven't talked to you in a while, and I love talking to you. You're a great guy. But somebody in chat, when we were talking about fucketry time, and I forget who it was, I apologize, chat. But they said you should have Pat on because Pat gets into a lot of shit on Twitter. And
I think it was Mash.
Yeah, it was Mash. Okay, yeah. And you get into a lot of fights on Twitter.
Yeah.
I have two questions for you. One, how have you not been banned yet?
I think that's due to black privilege because
oh, that ain't fair.
Yeah, it'd be like I want to censor. Well, they do censor me because it's like anytime I post pictures and things like that, they contain this censored material. But I think a lot of it is just basically, I don't know. I just be arguing with people like points and things like that. I come at them crazy just like how they come at me. But I just basically just argue, prove my points, and they just be like, well, fuck you, and block me and all that right there. It's like I think that's what it is. Like they have that mindset of, like, I want to do this and I want to say this and that to you, but you're black and I'm supposed to stick up for you.
That's not fair. I'm going to just start. Nobody knows what color I'm just going to start telling them I'm black.
Yeah, because I think my last fight was basically like with these two feminists because they got mad at me because, I called out the one, whatever name, Rebecca Reed, some Metro UK feminist, who posted up this semi-nude photo and talking about, oh, I get so many guys talking about my body is fat and all that right there. So here it is, I'm not apologizing for it. And I'm like, bitch, you just did that for attention. And they got mad as fuck. And then this one person, like, basically talking about, like, oh, see, that's the problem right there. All these toxic masculinity men come in here. And when we talk about, male violence against women, I'm like, how the hell is this male violence against women? Because she be coming up in her DMs calling her this and that. I'm like, yeah, according to what she said, but she hasn't shown any proof that she gets this harassment right here. She just says she gets it, and she just posted up this, I'm damn near naked right here, and that's where it comes with the whole listen and believe and that, and all that right there. And they actually advocated for us. So I'm like, okay, so you actually, listen and believe. And they're like, yeah, I without question, will listen and believe any woman that says that she's been assaulted or she's been raped. And I'm like, that's your problem right there. And then this another feminist came in after other people were arguing, talking about false rape claims and all that right there, where it's only a few. I'm like, yeah, but a few is still not zero. And that's the problem right there, where a lot of people not listening and believing anytime a woman says she's been this and that, because a lot of people have lied about that just to get attention. So it's like when a woman says he raped me or he assaulted me or he did this and that, we don't automatically listen and believe. And that got them pissed off. And then eventually, after 2 or 3 days arguing, they ended up blocking me. And it's like, that's me on Twitter, man.
Real quick. Thank you, Chaos Eve. I was going to say, yeah, Polly is full of shit. Yeah, Polygon. And Gregory Hurst, thank you. Isn't telling a woman to smile sexist? That's, well, yeah, because Last of Us, that is a female homosexual. So can't tell her that. And Cryptic, thank you. You should bring back Pat to say right there. No shit. That's my favorite thing he says. All this right there. It's my favorite fucking thing
that right
he says.
Right this and there.
All that right there, everything in this right here.
Where did that tweet go? I wanted to read a tweet to you guys because it made me laugh my ass off, but it seems to be missing. So now I got to find it. I hate when people delete their stupid shit. Oh yeah, it's gone. A woman last night, and Mike Headley. If you guys don't follow Mike, you're missing. You were really missing out. He finds the best shit on Twitter, and he found
it's kind of hard. Oh, excuse me.
He found a woman who said that she told her brother that using the term female was dehumanizing to women. And so hang on, it gets better. So he said, really? Wow. And as she started listening to him, she realized instead of saying female, he would say female woman. And she finished off by saying, see, all you have to do is point it out and people will be politically correct.
So women that work at FEMA?
That's what I read. But I want to know why female is bad, but man is fine.
Well, I want to know why it's dehumanizing, because the only logical reason would be, well, males aren't human.
Yeah.
So it's dehumanizing to call women a female.
Well, haven't you heard this? That's why they do the women thing now with the Y.
Yeah, women.
So that it's not related to man at all, because man as the species, it fucking blows their mind.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but I saw that yesterday, and I was like, "You got to be shitting me!"
I'm not surprised.
And I try to be nice on Twitter. I do, guys. I just want to make people laugh. But then I read shit like this. Like, are you out of your fucking mind? Yeah, because some of the comments on that's what I really wanted to read you, because there were women cheering her on. Like, yeah, all we got to do is reprogram them. That was what one of them said. We got to reprogram them.
Oh, okay. Well, go to North Korea. They're good at that.
Jesus, fuck, man. So, do we have a deep topic? We got 17 minutes left, a 16 now, according to my clock, for a deep topic.
I remember, it's not a deep topic, but I do remember getting a message from Tall Person recently.
Oh,
you guys know our favorite troll.
Yes, I love our favorite.
Oh, yes, Touch Me. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, not tall. Well, I said Tall Person, didn't I?
Yeah, you said Tall Person.
Tall Person,
yeah.
We love. Touch Me is a moron.
Yeah.
Get your T names right there, Satsu.
Yeah, I don't know what. Does he still leave comments for you guys?
I don't pay attention.
Occasionally. I mean, when I notice, yeah.
Okay, I was trying to find. Oh, this shit is okay. This is longer than the one. There was one that I think he deleted it. Shit, man. There was one that he said to me that was so mind-boggling that I had to like read it a couple times to really understand what he was trying to say to me, and I think it's gone. That sucks. There is one on here that's like really long, but I'm not giving him that much time.
Well, I do have the story that I didn't read yesterday about Harvard. The stunning evidence of Harvard's racism. Harvard University records unveiled Friday show the school engages in blatant, egregious racism in the name of diversity.
Oh, of course. That's not shocking.
Egregious?
No, how do you say that word?
You mean egregious?
Agree. Oh, yeah, that is egregious.
Okay. I was like, egregious. I was really hoping that they misspelled a word. And I was like,
I just misread.
Amazing.
No, this is worse than you might think, Satsu. The info came out thanks to a lawsuit by Students for Fair Admissions over admission policies that discriminate against Asian Americans. Perhaps the most damaging revelation was a 2013 internal Harvard study that concluded exactly what the suit charges. And the only action the school took was to suppress the research. The documents also show how Harvard discriminates. To counter Asians' tendencies to do extremely well on traditional measures, test scores, grades, and extracurriculars, it routinely rates them lower on soft categories like positive personality, being widely respected, likability, kindness, etc. Now, what this article doesn't say is that they did this without meeting these people. And that was in another article that this was linked through. But yeah, so in order to lower the scores of Asians, they basically called them dicks.
That's fucked up.
Isn't it though? I'm like, oh my God, I understand. Yeah. In the US right now, Asians are topping everything, and you're trying to make your little booklet you hand out to people who want to go to Harvard look like you're not a bunch of fucking racists, but you're a bunch of fucking racists. Thank you, Cryptic. Asians are called because Asians due to the caulk being removed because of size. I think a word is missing there. Oh, Caucasians. I see. I get it. They took out the caulk because they're too small. I get it. That's a little dick joke for Asians.
Yeah.
It took me a second.
Yeah. Even I'm like, huh?
So now this is one of the cases. Where's that? If the judge doesn't decide for one side or the other, this case goes to trial in October. And this is one of the cases that they're talking about with the Supreme Court. If this makes it all the way up, Harvard should get slapped down for what they're doing here.
Oh, yeah.
But it is affirmative action. I mean, because the reason they're doing it, and let's be honest here, this is not just for blacks and Latinos. They hit the Asians so they can get more white people in there too, because we can't keep up with Asians. But to label them dicks to try to keep them from getting in, that is low. That's fucking low.
Yeah.
That took way too long, Monkey. I know. I thought there would be more engagement in this topic, guys. I misjudged that.
Sorry.
I mean, it's just like, yeah, well, of course they'll. Well, I'm at the point to where I'm like, they'll literally do anything. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're just like, yeah, they literally say, get your fucking Asian ass out of my office. You're not coming into the school. I'd be like, yeah. I mean, we were getting to that point, right?
But I mean, this is the kind of stuff you expect them to say they would do for white people. You know, to help white people, but they're discriminating against a fucking minority here because there's too much diversity at Harvard. Because isn't diversity just anything but white?
Yeah,
last I heard. Yeah.
Oh God. Here's another one that I was gonna bring up and didn't. Seattle considers mobile safe injection van.
Mobile safe injection ban?
Van. V-A-N.
Ban.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Seattle council members are looking to get around the dilemma of where to place a safe injection site by making it mobile. The city is now exploring what Human Services Department spokesperson Meg, I don't care what her last name is, describes as a large mobile medical van. The issue was discussed at a June 7, 2018 council committee meeting. The van would be akin to medical RVs the county and city currently use to serve homeless residents. KIRO7 reports that it will be much larger, however, of course, because you got more druggies than you do homeless. The option is referred to as a fixed mobile. Excuse me. The medical van would park at a fixed location, but return to a secure location every night. That's basically what the story is. But they do talk at the end that they're also considering not just having this van, but providing drugs.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're getting a safe high.
At a discount, perhaps? Are they going to be competing with the other drug dealers?
I don't know if you get it free or what. What do you guys think about a mobile injection site?
Yeah, mobile injection. That sounds like drug competition right there. Oh man, you moving in on my spot.
Sorry, real quick. They had talked about getting a fixed building, but nobody wanted it in their neighborhood.
Sure. I mean, I can understand trying to figure out how to. I mean, if you can't stop an addict from being an addict, can you stop an addict from at least not killing themselves outright in the course of them having to deal with their addiction? I understand the sentiment. I don't think this is necessarily the way to do it.
Has it been done before?
Yes. They're according to the city council, they're doing this because of other cities who do similar things.
And
real quick, Stargazer Nuts asked who pays for this. They actually have a fund for this. It's taxpayer funded. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was asking, do we know what the success rate is in the other places where they're doing it?
Mm-hmm.
The article didn't give facts on that. They just quoted the city council people saying that it had been successful in other areas.
So we're just taking their word on it.
Basically, yes. Three-sided coin. God damn you. Thank you for the donation. I've been operating a mobile injection site for years, but when I do it, I get called a pervert. God damn it. Here's my thought on it. My initial reaction is to laugh because it's like, really, you're going to help drug addicts get high.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Prospero. Goddamn, the Pusher Man has a Scooby fan. But here's the problem with drug use. Drug use is a health issue. It is. And as silly as it seems to be like, hey, we're going to make sure you have clean needles, that makes more sense than letting people die in the street with a nasty one.
Yeah, that's, like I said, I understand the sentiment or understand the purpose of it.
So I don't know. I would have to see more evidence on the validity of this service. But it's been done in other countries for years, says Jay. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. Because we treat drugs in this country as a criminal problem, and that's obviously not working. Obviously not fucking working.
Yeah.
And it's because it's a health problem, and it needs addressed that way. And I don't like the idea of helping addicts get high, but I also don't, like I said, I don't want them shooting up behind a 7-Eleven and a kid finding their fucking needle either. I mean, it isn't working well unless you're a junkie, I guess. Well, they also, one of the things that this ban is supposed to do is they're supposed to talk to them about treatment. Now, when they start talking about giving them drugs, that's where I have an issue. We're not talking about methadone here. They're talking about giving these people fucking heroin.
So I'm gonna give you drugs, but then I'm gonna try to give you advice how to kick this drug. And like, how the hell is that gonna work?
Sounds like a mobile methadone clinic, except it's not. This is literally a place for people to go get high. Bring your stuff and get lit. And, oh, whoops! Don't want to trigger anyone.
Careful, monkey.
Yeah. I was curious what other people thought of it, because like I said, my first reaction is laughter. Like, are you serious? But if it helps, I mean, I'm all for anything that actually helps.
Okay, guys, want to play a little game?
Uh-oh. Isn't that how Scream started?
Indeed. Somebody might die at the end of this, but
oh shit.
Minor details. So is this a real person or a bot that tweeted this?
Okay.
You ready? I had to block half my family yesterday because I found out that they are all bigots. They hate refugees, immigrants, and Muslims, and they say that that's just a part of being conservative. When someone believes that taking away the rights of others is good, sometimes you have no choice but to cut them all off.
That is a real fucking person.
Yeah, that is a real person. Because I've seen some motherfuckers actually say this shit.
Unfortunately, it is.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
So they blocked half of their family because their family actually believes. What was it now?
Hold on, let's.
I want to hear that again.
They hate refugees, immigrants, and Muslims. And they say that it's a part of being conservative. That was their reasoning. Like, I hate refugees, immigrants, and Muslims because that's just what comes with being conservative. Okay. Or at least that's what she says.
Nothing for you here. That was not just Saw. That was the beginning of Scream.
Well, there was also War Games. Would you like to play a game? That's what I thought at first.
Cryptic, thank you. Illegals go no rights. They aren't got no rights. Yeah, they're not citizens. And that is something that gets that wasn't talked about.
They do have some rights. They do have some rights when it comes to due process after they've been captured. There are some rights they can't vote. They do not have a right to an attorney as compared to citizens. But other than that, they share many of the same rights that we do once they're here on the level of just humane treatment and such.
And that falls under human rights, right?
Yeah.
Well, in the decision yesterday on this that Roberts brought up, rights for immigrants only apply once they get to the U.S. So, like the people, the Muslim ban, and people are like, oh, they have a right to come here. No, they don't.
They really don't have a right to come here. Once they get across the border, certain rights are immediately bestowed upon them simply for being within the United States proper. But they don't have all the same rights as citizens. They have many of the same rights. But prior to them getting here, they don't have any rights under U.S. law unless or until they step on U.S. soil.
Jay Hess says Trump is correct. Catch and eject at the border. I have no problem with that. Because somebody pointed out with the illegals, there's, I forget how many is it, but there's a whole bunch of U.S. consulates and there's the U.S. embassy in Mexico. That's where you go if you want to apply for asylum.
Yes.
You don't sneak across the border. You don't even have to make the trip up here. You go there for it. And there's
you go through the process. You follow the rules. You go through the paperwork and the wait times and everything else that people have to do it right. And then you've got all types of rights, but you have them legitimately, and you're not subject to being deported or being treated like a criminal, which is what you are when you break the law.
Yes, and that's what a lot of people on Twitter and all that right there ain't getting. Even when they're trying to make it out like, like legal immigrants are actually like, for, like all these illegal immigrants that's coming. I'm like, no, legal immigrants actually are the main ones who are pissed off about the whole entire situation because they actually went through the exact, process. They jumped through the hoops to come over here, and call themselves American. And to see these illegal immigrants, I'm saying, doing what they do right there. And now you got all these, like radical ass liberals and Democrats talking about, oh, they should be this and they should be that right there. And making it like legal immigrants are down with that. I'm like, no, they're the main ones who are pissed off about that.
Well, the thing that that always gets me is that people on the extreme ends of this seem to believe that simply the desire to come to the United States is an inherent right or is some kind of virtuous human crusade. And it's like, no, there's a process to that. Just like I can't just walk into Germany and say, I'm a German resident now. No, I have come there illegally and I will be deported because I've broken German law. Yeah, it's just, anyway, moving on.
Guys, it is chat time. Questions, comments, concerns, throw them into chat now, and we will do our best to answer them. If you have questions for our guests, don't forget to put those in there too. Make sure your questions have question marks so we know that that is a question directed for us. Data, that's not true anymore. It says, fun fact, any Cuban that sets foot on U.S. soil is here to stay. Obama ended wet foot, dry foot. It was one of the last things he did in office. Ranting Monkey, did you see the sketch I sent you? When did you send it? I saw the ones you had sent me before. I don't know if you sent me new ones. I have not yet. I haven't been on Twitter very much at all since I've got home. So, see, I told you. Cryptic, I waited my turn. I applied. I waited. I came. I joined the military. I got my citizenship. They can suck my left nut sack and tickle my right one. Yeah,
wow.
It is amazing. We've talked about this before. People, when Trump won, they're like, can't believe how many Latinos voted for him. Like, yeah. And if you check, I bet they're mostly first generation Americans because they don't like this shit. Ranting Monkey, can you please ask Satsu how he enjoyed the new Burger King burger he had last night? Satsu?
That was the most disgusting shit I've ever tried.
What would you eat?
What do you call it?
They got this, what is it called? The Brew House Burger or some shit like that, or the Brewery Burger or something like that. And they use this sauce that's like infused with beer, and I don't know what kind of beer they. Look, basically, I'm gonna explain to you the best way I can exactly how this tastes. Have you ever been drunk to the point of throwing up?
Once.
Yep. Yes, once. One
Do
time.
you know the smell of throw up that is mixed with alcohol?
Oh, damn.
That is what this burger smells and tastes like.
God damn.
Oh, damn. That's bad.
It smells and tastes like it.
Oh.
To the point to where, and I was telling people, like, everything on this burger, I like tomatoes and lettuce and all this shit, like everything. None of it tastes good with this sauce on it. None of it. It all tastes disgusting. Like I was literally just eating somebody's throw up.
Oh,
gross. And Burger King, if you would like to contact Satsu for a commercial,
I had to scrape the top off, like actually like scrub that shit off. And then I like drowned it in barbecue sauce to mask it. And that still wasn't enough.
Jesus. Good God.
I was actually offended that she brought me that. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you, woman? Have you lost your mind?
Real quick, Satsu 2 cents, are you guys streaming tonight? Yes, we are. And Stargazer Nuts was nice enough to put the information down there in the chat for you. We'll be over on 2 cents plus playing the open server of 7 Days to Die tonight. Scribe, did you know that with the German example, you are pretty much wrong? That's if you're an EU citizen, maybe, but he couldn't because he's an American citizen.
Right. Yeah, if I wanted to walk into another sovereign nation without any papers, without any announcement, without any preparation, and just say, I'm going to live here now, I would be subject to their laws, and more likely than not, I would be kicked the fuck out. So.
Richard Art says yesterday, I didn't. Did you send it to me on Twitter and DM? Because I didn't see it. Circus Zero asks your boy Pat, how much can you bench?
Oh.
How much I got benched? Let's see. Last time I benched, I benched about 300.
Jeez,
that's why I use it around myself. That's if I'm just benching by myself. Now, if I got spots and all that right there, I'll try to go up a little bit. Yeah,
up a little bit from 300.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so right. Yes, it's like I can press it at one time. I try to go for that second one, but I'm like, shit.
Yeah, I can barely lift a gallon of milk. Jesus. Check Your Logic said, I just finished watching Hi, I Think I'm Real's video, and the second half of the video is something I've felt for a while, that YouTubers are just people.
Yes.
I haven't seen his video, so I'm not sure how he means it.
They're just people.
One of the discussions that a lot of people have brought up is the fact that people look at YouTubers and they think like we're these fucking unique beings that only exist to, like, you know, put out content, and we don't live normal lives like everybody else. Kind of almost how you would look at a celebrity.
Right.
But it's just like fucking normal dudes, and that's why people get so fucking, like, you know, when Matt Pat from like Game Theory goes on Twitter and talks about, you know, something political, they're like, oh my god, Matt, who knew that you were? It's like, I live on this planet too. Like, I deal with the same shit that y'all deal with when I'm not making videos. I'm still a person. I still have opinions. People forget that shit sometimes, and they get, you know, outraged the moment you know. Just like this was a good one. Squishy brought this up to me before. Somebody, I think it was on like a radio show or something, Beyonce was talking and she sneezed, and the fucking internet lost its mind. Like, people were like, oh my god, I can't believe she's human just like us. And it's like, what the fuck do you mean?
Like, she's a robot.
Right. Like, what did you think she was an android this whole fucking time? Like, are you serious? And then, you know what I mean.
Here's the thing that still gets me is that like, I guess it's almost 2 years ago now. Well, 2014 onward till I started my YouTube channel, I was an audience member of Mundane Matt's. I used to watch his stuff, like, and, you know, I thought, you know, these people exist in a different world than I, like Mr. Medicare and Sargon of Akkad. These guys operate on a higher level, and you know, they've got these amazing skills at entertaining people and sort of dissecting an argument or dissecting a situation. I felt like I was on the other side of the planet compared to them. And Matt's been a guest on my channel now. And I know that sounds like kind of stupid, but it's one of those things where it's kind of like you have a realization everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time, so to speak. You know, a guy who is in the president's office is just doing a job like I'm doing a job. It's just a different job, you know, and they're no better or worse than me. I'm smarter than some of them. They're smarter than me in some cases. But we're all the same. And if you think that you couldn't be a YouTuber, start a YouTube channel and you'll be it immediately.
Well, see, this always got me when I worked at Walmart, and like some big wig would come in and everybody would get like, even our management team would get just fucking frayed.
Right. Yeah.
And I was just like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. And they're like, how can you be so calm? Like, it's a guy.
It's a person.
It's a person. I mean,
it's a person.
Just like you. Yeah.
Now, I do want to say, as somebody who has kind of been on both sides of that, like you, Scribe, there's people that I've watched. I mean, Bearing, the first time he came on, I was so fucking starstruck, it was retarded.
Right.
But from that same time, I've had people like, I can't believe you're talking to me. I'm like, I'm just a dude. I'm just a guy. I get a lot of compliments from people because I try to answer all of my DMs. I know I don't do it, guys. I try. And I've had people, I can't believe you responded to me. I'm like, one, I have my DMs open specifically so people can talk to me if they want to. And I would be an asshole to ignore that. But two, I'm just a dude. I spend my days playing video games, guys. We're no different, but I get why people think so.
Yeah, I mean, like getting sort of starstruck or starry-eyed, you know, somebody that you admire and that kind of thing. But you know, you always got to remember that nothing separates you from me except a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
just an example. Or nothing separates you from Tommy Lee Jones except that he worked to become an actor. You know, whereas somebody else might work to become a doctor or something. It just make your choices, do what you want to do. But ultimately, we're all, I mean, like I Think I'm Real said, YouTubers are just people. Exactly.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're all human, but some are just more popular than us.
That's right. Because I'm better than you.
I'm fucking better than you.
I'm better than you. I'm better than you.
That
if you're Anna Kasparian, oh my god.
I was better than you. Yeah.
If you had a chance,
aren't they like pissed off at Dave Rubin now?
Everybody's pissed off at Dave Rubin right now.
Sure.
They're mad at him because he's more right wing than they want him to be, and he used to be a far lefty. Did you hear Bearing starting a podcast? TIS-tism. I didn't, Diesel Dave, but thank you for the donation.
Yeah, I just watched his last video. I don't know who he's starting it with because he said, click the link for more info down below. And I was like, nope. But yeah, I seen it in his last video.
No, I've only seen one Bearing video recently, and it's not a slight to Bearing. I haven't watched many videos recently. If you had a chance
on Twitter,
he has a new account out there.
Is it Bearing TV? Because I had somebody named Bearing TV follow me the other day, and it was Bearing's logo and everything. I thought, but he only had like 800 followers or something. So I thought, is this Bearing following me, or is this some kind of fake? Because if it's Bearing following me, I'm going to go, oh. But if it's not, I don't care.
Let me see if I can. I know I'm following his new one. Bearing TV followed you. That's not the one that I followed.
Okay, then that's.
Oh yeah, it is. That is the one I followed. That's somebody sent that to me. So yeah, that's him.
Oh, that's wow. Okay, well,
oh, it is now.
Yay! I feel so.
Use our contact like Sugar Tits about that.
Yeah.
Satsu actually knows how the Burger King foot lettuce tastes.
That fucking burger, man. Like, dude, okay. I'm sorry to go back on this, but seriously, I've had things that I did not like. You know what I mean? Where it's like, this isn't good to me. Like, I wouldn't buy this. If somebody tried to give it to me for free, I probably still wouldn't take it. But if I was starving, I would eat it. You know what I mean? But even if I was like, they was like, you need to eat this burger or you're not going to make it. I'm not going to make it because that shit was inedible. Like, it's not going to stay down. I seriously like spit that shit up like a little kid. Like, you ever put food in a kid's mouth and they didn't expect it to taste a certain way. So they're like, whoa, what the fuck? That's how I was, because I've never like got anything from an actual place that sells food that tastes that bad ever.
Thank you, Gregory Hurst. Nothing separates you from me but my armed guards. Uh-oh.
There you go.
You've seen me stalking. Let's see. If you had a chance to talk to Phil DeFranco, what would you want to talk about? If I had a chance to talk to him, I would talk to him about the business of YouTube.
Yeah.
Because he's one of the few people that has insight that I would really, really like to know.
I'd like to talk to him about a job.
I'd probably ask him, not necessarily tips on the business side of it, but just because, you know, I'm not so much concerned with the business as I am. I'd be curious to know his advice on just basics, how best to grow an audience, aside from, you know, interaction and other things, aside from like taking a direct active role, like, you know, talking to people, but actually getting your name out there in an effective way.
Yeah, that's right here. Like, you know, because that's what I'd be doing with a whole lot of these like big time YouTubers when I ask them questions like, how did you build up your audience, you know, and how long did it take?
Well, it took him. He's been doing this, what, 11 years?
Oh, yeah. He's been doing something like YouTube started, basically.
Yeah, he's been at it for a while.
He's lit, y'all.
He was just mentioning today how toxic his content was when he started. I've never gone back and watched the videos that, you know.
That's one of the things about him that bugs me, is that he is so apologetic about his early stuff. And he'll occasionally show clips from it. And yeah, he was kind of being a douchebag back then. But he was entertaining his audience. He was being funny. And now I have a problem with people who, Eddie Murphy's actually a really great example of this. Eddie Murphy got famous being dirty as fuck. And then he had a kid and decided, you know, I can't do that anymore, which is fine. You don't have to. But to then almost insult the people who do.
Well, I mean, God forbid somebody, amazingly enough, over the course of 11 years or a career or something, change with age. mature, maybe their opinions change, their demeanor changes. That's called growth. That's nothing to be ashamed of necessarily.
Well, that's why he said he keeps it up, because he's like,
Sure.
you know, it's interesting to see where I've come from, but like, you know, I was an asshole. And
yeah, okay.
Well, see, to me, that's him calling everybody else an asshole who is in that similar vein, which is that's where I have the problem. You know what? If you really do think you used to be douchey, okay, fair enough. But he almost comes off to me a little pious sometimes. And
well, to me, it seems like he comes off a little more lenient to younger people in that regard, because like whenever these YouTubers, like, because he was talking about Rice Gum today, and he went over to another country and was acting a goddamn fool again. And the reason that he went hard on Jake Paul is because Jake Paul literally filmed a dead body. But most of the time when these stories come up of like young YouTubers doing dumb shit, he usually is like, yeah, I mean, they're young YouTubers. that's what's entertaining right now. And it seems like he gives more apologetics than like saying like, you know, because he's like, I've been there, so, you know, whatever.
Angry Introvert says, truth be told, the first time Scribe Light mentioned me on the stream, I went all idiot fangirl. Anyone else ever done that? Not when Scribes mentioned me.
Yeah, Monkey's not impressed. Monkey was like the man before I met him. He had like 3,000 subscribers or something.
Yeah.
I felt like, how is it that I am so blessed to have this celestial being from on high deign to give me such attentions?
Kiss my ass.
I am but a lowly serf before your greatness, my lord.
Fucking asshole. We have a real question, and not that wasn't a real question, but a serious question up top. Somebody kept asking, where was it? Well, here's a one version of it. Does that mean Obama stopped letting people fleeing Cuba into the U.S.? I guess he must be a communist scumbag. No, he's not a communist scumbag. There were a lot of people who had a problem with the wet foot, dry foot thing. But yes, he absolutely did that. He ended it. If Cubans make it to our shore, they got to go back. And you also have to realize Cuba's changing, guys. It's not changing fast, but it is changing. And I've always wondered why we treat Cuba the way we do. I get it. They're a communist country. Castro was a dick. But you don't change hearts and minds by starving people.
Yeah.
Which is what we did to Cuba. It's what we've done to North Korea. And I understand it. But the idea that traveling to Cuba was illegal, it's just fucking so weird to me. I found Monkey and Satsu through I Meet Bear. Don't forget to thank him.
We found each other through Great Bear, so there you go.
That's true.
Believe it or not, I think a lot of my subscribers actually came from that Tyler
Preston?
thing. Yeah.
Tyler Preston.
Yeah. When he did that collab, I got a lot of subscribers off of that. But
I got it.
And that 25 questions that feminists have for men.
Remember yeah.
That was like one of my most viewed videos. I think that video, shit, where is it at right now? I don't even know. It's been a while since I looked, but.
Real quick, Richard Art says, I just DM'd you the sketch I'm working on, new fan art I'm working on. Can I get a shout out to get my name out there? Send it to me just regular and tag me in it. That makes it a lot easier to shout it out.
Oh, I got a question for Emily Williams right here. Favorite music group? I really can't pinpoint like one music group because I've grown up in so many different genres because I grew up in the 80s and, that's what most of my music I listen to this day right now because today's music is kind of like, ugh.
It's garbage.
Today's music is garbage. Data says back in the day.
Listening about 1996, like anything on up there right now, you may hear one every once in a while, but I'm like, yeah, that shit's ugh.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I actually spent my evening last night after we got off here listening to old country shit my dad used to listen to.
Oh, man.
Data says, back in the day, we yelled at the TV screen. Now we are heard by you, and that connection makes YouTube creators closer with their audience. I'd agree with that.
True. Yeah, I mean, there's the distance or the seeming distance between media and audience is practically non-existent now, because I can tweet anybody, any celebrity I can think of. I can just tweet them, and there's a possibility they may respond. And if they do, it's like, oh my God, I never thought I'd speak to this person. Whereas in the past, you never would.
Yeah.
Yeah. On that question Pat got, if I had to pick like an artist today that I can say I really do like, is Bruno Mars. I like a lot of his music. Squishy got me like hooked.
Oh yeah, I like Uptown Funk.
I liked him a lot better when he was called Little Richard.
Oh. Oh.
That's funny.
Jordan asks, so Ranting Monkey, are you going to guest on Ghost Poo and play their game? Is it a midget? I would love to play that game, and I would win because I know my midgets. Let's see, what else do we have? My dog ran away with my truck and wife, just wrote a country song. There's actually a song by David Allan Coe called The Perfect Country Song, and it's a great song, but he gets to the third verse and he's talking about how he played it for a friend, and they said, look, but you didn't mention anything about pickup trucks or your mama or being drunk. And so the next line, actually, the next verse opens up, I was drunk the day my mama got out of prison. It is a fucking great song if you haven't heard it. Now, if you're going to listen to David Allan Coe, be very careful, because David Allan Coe has also sung a lot of very racist songs. They're funny, but they're horribly racist.
Okay. You guys know how I like to share Twitter exchanges, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I replied to Riley Dennis, if you're being civil, you're being complacent. And I put, so no more civility towards trans people and people of color. Oh, okay. I was under the impression that you guys wanted the opposite. And somebody responded with, you are threatening people with the status quo. And I said,
people with the status quo.
Yeah.
With the status quo. I hadn't heard that one before. That's good.
And I said, what? And he said, you can read, now fuck off. And I said,
Jesus.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great comeback. What? You can read? Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. And I was like, indeed I can. And it's stupid, but you're an idiot. So that's not shocking. And he said, hey, why don't you be more civil, you pissy little bitch?
Jesus.
Oh my God.
And I said, calling you an idiot was pretty civil compared to what's probably actually wrong with you. And that's where that ended.
So basically, coming to white knight for Riley. How dare you?
That's amazing.
Why don't you be civil, you pissy little bitch?
I just like the one that's like, you can read.
Now fuck off.
Now fuck off. That's my favorite part.
Guys, I just want to remind you, after this, we will be playing 7 Days to Die open server over on 2 Cents Plus. Don't forget to join us there. We are on the road to 1,000, and we are at 924, guys. We're so close.
Oh, so close.
We're getting there.
That's it. Who is this? Claxton BR asking me like, what kind of music do I lift to? Well, like I said, I lift what I mainly do, especially like when I bench press. You know that one song on the Highlander series talking about I Am Immortal?
Oh yeah, by Queen.
Yeah, I forget what the song is, but it's like, once they go on right there, that's how I get my it's on now shit.
I am immortal. I have inside me blood of kings. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah, that's when I get my power right there.
Pretty Mercury. Yep.
We was kings.
Who's Discord this time, Ranting Mike? We'll be in Satsu's Discord, of course. That's where we have it set up.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Weibo. No, we're not ignoring you. These women always want our attention. Don't worry.
Weebs know she always got our attention.
I'm still gonna bang your grandma.
Weibo is your tea.
You guys have to watch 2 Cents Plus to understand that. Let's see, what do we got going on here? Ain't it a bit hypocritical, though, calling civility the status quo, calling for it to be stopped, and then complaining that you're not being civil with them? Yes, that's why we were all laughing.
Yeah,
That was fucked up.
I think what they meant is that's already happening right now, so that's not like a valid threat. And I do truly think that that's what they meant. But I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think that's the case.
Batty tells us, I got Bluetooth headphones and I just listened to you while I peed. I love the future. Yes, I love the future too. I'm glad you didn't have to miss anything.
I love
Prince
the
of the Universe. That's what they are.
Oh, yeah, Prince of the Universe. Yeah, I'd love the future more if I had a moon base.
Moon base. Where was the other one up here? Somebody was telling me about a party they went to. Claxton Bayer said, I went to a midget party in a Vegas hotel room once. You would have loved it. Ooh. This room had a bowling alley in it. Did you guys bowl the midgets?
Oh my god! Yeah,
that's a thing.
They put baby oil all on the fucking thing and just slid midgets down.
If I go to Vegas, I'm getting a midget stripper.
Oh man, I want a midget.
And be like, can I call you left cheek?
Man, Squishy showed me this video of this midget stripper. She was like doing her thing on the pole or whatever, and then she like ran full speed and jumped off the stage onto some dude. And I was like, holy shit.
Is that the one where I saw a video like that once where, you know, a midget stripper, she was jumping at one dude and the dude didn't even try to catch her ass.
No, he caught her.
Just let her fall.
Yeah. And what it was, like, somebody did a comedy parody on it. It's like as soon as she jumped, it did the old R. Kelly, I believe I can fly.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. My buddy got a midget stripper for his bachelor party. Yeah, see, that would ruin my wedding. Because she'd be fucked.
No, Jesus.
Does a midget stripper meet you at eye level? Oh, the one-eyed monster.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
No, we didn't bowl the midgets, but they were dancing and swinging from the light fixtures. That is awesome.
Oh my god.
We both be standing attention.
I just can't help it. Midgets are awesome. I want one.
All to himself.
I would keep it on a leash. I'd take it out to potty and stuff. I'm saying goodbye now in case my device dies before the end of the stream. Take care, Jenna. Thanks for stopping by.
All right.
There was this mediocre comedian I was watching one time that was making jokes, and he was like, did I ever tell you guys the story about why I never go to midget parties while on Viagra?
Jesus.
And like, because he was just this big ass black dude or whatever. And he was like, I've knocked out many people with my hands, but I never thought that would be an issue with my dick.
Carrick says, you sound like they're more pets than people to you, Monkey. No, of course, they're little people. I know.
Yeah, midgets are people, Monkey. YouTubers.
I've seen people on leashes.
I have too.
Let Monkey have his fetish.
Yes, exactly.
Scribe's like, I have people on leash.
I have.
President of the Bondage Club.
Hey, Weibo says, hey,
it's for horses.
Hey, ho, hey, ho.
Oh, wait, Stargazer, how old is your daughter?
Oh,
she's 4'10".
How old is she? She's 4'10". What?
Well, she's 4'10", so I need to ask how old she is before I make inappropriate comments.
Oh, I see. All right.
4'10" isn't a midget. It's close enough. You know, you can't always get a midget. Oh, she's 19. Is she cute? I'm just asking. You know, if she wants to get into nursing, I'm going to need a nurse soon, eventually.
Oh, boy.
What? I'm crippled.
Lady Monkey's not enough for you?
Oh, I don't want to make her take care of me like that. We'll pay somebody proper.
You want to be a straight-on slave master. Okay.
That's right, yeah. Grandpa Perv strikes again. Yes, that's right. Cryptic, thank you. Stop activating my Google. It said, hey, back to you. I did not say the phrase that should have made your Google kick off. Oh,
I don't know. Sometimes you can say okay, and it'll set it off right there.
Okay, Google.
Oh,
my phone just lit up. It wants my password. I'm not doing it. Guys, at this point, we're pretty much at the end. So thank you, chat, so much for coming in and joining us. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the donations. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Best audience on YouTube, bar none. Usually I do this after the two main guys, but Pat, thank you for joining us, dude. Always a pleasure to talk to you, man.
It's a pleasure. I had fun as always.
Satsu Scribbles, a pleasure as always. Everyone, your life makes me sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Night all.
Live long and prosper.
Join us on 2 Cents Plus. We're headed there. We'll be there in just a few minutes. Go.
Better fucking